Hi LCS artists, it's Mrs. Peterson here. Today we're starting the next part of our Keith Haring project. You should have already watched a video where you practiced how to draw figures in the style of Keith Haring. So let's get started on our final copy. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to write our name and our room number on the back of our paper. Then you're going to flip over your paper so that you can't see your name anymore. And our paper is going to go horizontally today, but we are going to be moving it around. Now, last time we practiced how to draw stick figures like Keith Haring. So when you draw your figures today, you're going to be drawing them randomly all over your paper. So I'm going to turn my paper each time I draw a different figure. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to actually turn my paper a little bit. I'm going to start with an oval, a straight line down for the body, and remember, you can pick how your person is going to move. So you can draw your figure however you would like to draw your figure. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. Just don't forget about adding lines for the feet. Once I have my figure drawn, I'm going to trace around it, but I'm not going to touch the middle line. Then I'm going to go back in with my eraser and I'm going to erase just the inside of my stick person. Just a quick reminder, we aren't tracing around the head and we are just erasing the lines on the inside, nothing on the outside. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw just a couple lines to show movement. Now, before I draw my next person, I'm going to completely turn my paper. So maybe I want to have my paper upside down now. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with an oval for the head. I'm going to draw a straight line down for the body. And it's okay if your person is going to go off the page a little bit. So when I draw this person, maybe the lines are going off the paper a little bit. That's okay. I'm going to just trace around my person. And obviously, since this is going off the page, I can't trace all the way around them. Stop at the neck. And then I'll go back in and erase the middle. And finally, I'm going to go in and I'm going to draw just a couple more lines to show some movement. Now, I'm going to continue to fill up my paper. Each time I add a person, I'm going to turn my paper a different direction, and I'll check back in with you when I have maybe 4, 5, or up to 6 people on my paper. I finished drawing all of my figures with pencil. I even drew in some random legs and a head just to fill up my paper. I tried to make sure each figure on my paper was going in a different direction. The next step is you're going to get a Sharpie marker, or if you don't have a Sharpie marker, you could always get a black marker, and you're going to trace all of your pencil lines with the black Sharpie marker. And remember, when I trace, I always like to turn my paper. That just makes it a lot easier for me. Just a reminder, you're not tracing that inside line. It should be mostly erased. So I'm just tracing all the way around the outside of each figure and movement. And then I'm also going to trace those lines. So I will continue tracing every figure on my paper, and then we will move on to the next step. I've now finished tracing all of my figures with black Sharpie marker, and now I'm ready to color. When I color my figures in, there's 2 ways that I can color them. The first way is I'm just going to pick one color, and I'm going to color the whole figure with one color of marker. And when I do this, it's really important that you make sure you're using your best craftsmanship. When I color with marker, I like to use the side instead of the point of the marker. And once again, I always like to turn my paper. It just helps me color things in a little bit better and reach all those little spots. So that's one way you could color in your figures, and then I would do each person a different color. The other thing you can do if you'd like is you can do patterns on each person. So you can make each person a different pattern. And if I were doing that, let's say I want to do stripes, I'd just color in one part of that person. And then obviously I'm not finished. I would finish all the pink first, and then you could go back in with a different color and you could color the rest of it in with a different color. So I am going to continue coloring all of my people. I'm going to try to use different colors. I might do some more patterns, and I might keep some of my figures solid. I finished coloring my whole project, and I love how it turned out. I decided to use solid colors and a variety of patterns to brighten up my project. Just to review, we made this art in the style of Keith Haring. We practiced figure drawing on a rough draft, and then we created our final copy with marker and Sharpie. Thanks so much for learning with me, and I can't wait to see your masterpieces.